Hola Colchoneros, welcome to Atleti Fanatics, and we are back in Champions League, and we are welcoming Josh with us over here today. Thank you, Josh, for joining us. I was just at Josh's channel through Gunnar, and we had an amazing time. And now he's back on our channel, so thank you for that, Josh. And the funny thing is, like, people are saying it's the haram derby and everything. It's one of those Taliban stuff going on in social media, which I mean, the thing is, like, it's good. Like, we're getting all the attention. I think this is the I would say the biggest match day for this one in the Champions League. So I'm really looking forward to it. And welcome, Josh. Welcome to the Atleti Fanatics channel. And just your initial thoughts on the match.
Firstly, guys, thank you so much for having me on today. I really appreciate the invite, and really looking forward to the game. But as an Arsenal fan coming into this, I think this is our toughest game so far this season. I have a lot of respect for you, Atletico guys, and I love your manager, Diego Simeone, so much. If Arteta was ever, if it don't work with Arteta, I'll love him. Like we got your director, Berto. We stole him from you guys, and he's been phenomenal at Arsenal. But yeah, listen, coming into the game, it's definitely these are the teams that we're meant to be testing ourselves against. This is why we moved to the Emirates Stadium. It's to play against you. Test ourselves against you guys. I see you guys as one of the top European elite clubs. And I think Simeone's made you that sort of elite side with Barca and Real Madrid. So I've got a lot of respect for you guys. I think, I mean, we can talk about it as this preview goes on, but it's going to be a very, very tactical game, from both managers. Very interesting sort of how both managers are going to set up. So I'm really looking forward to it, man. And I'm feeling confident, like with our defense. We've had the best defensive record now for the past couple of seasons. We've only conceded 3 goals this season. We've conceded none in the Champions League, 2 games, 2 clean sheets. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting battle, man.
Let's just take a look on Koke, what he said on Arsenal. So this is I'm quoting Koke over here. So he said, they have an excellent team. They are really fast on the wings. They have signed a superb striker, Victor Gyökeres, who I'm sure is going to score a lot of goals. In my opinion, they are an excellent team and one of the favorites to win the Champions League because the way they play, the number of chances they create. And he said they recently signed a player I really like, Martin Ødegaard. I think they hit the nail on the head with the signing because he is controlling things in midfield along with fellow Spaniard Mikel Merino. David Raya also plays his part in the build-up. Not only does he help with the saves, but with the ball at his feet as well. So again, Koke has a lot of praise for Arsenal right now, especially for his Spanish teammates, I would say. So anything you want to add, Josh, on Koke?
Yeah, listen, for me, in terms of where we're at this season, as I said, like defensively, we are rock solid with Saliba and Gabriel. Them as a partnership, they're one of the best in Europe, if not the best over the recent seasons. The partnership they got together, Saliba's that one so composed on the ball and very good playing out from the back, and Gabriel's that sort of one who gets stuck in, who's proper chaotic and proper, but in a good way. Like, he'll grab a game by a scruff of the neck, and a lot of Arsenal fans see him as future captain of Arsenal. He's that type of defender. So, and he can score so many goals from the set. I know we'll talk about it a bit later on, maybe, but that's one of our biggest strengths. We get called set piece FC, and if you guys know Stoke City in the lower league in England, they were known for set pieces and they were known for long throw-ins and proper, what do they call it, like low block ball and all that. Like that's Stoke City, and this is what we get compared to basically because we're so good at set pieces. But Gabriel, Saliba, and obviously like we just Alex with the Italian background will know about Calafiori as well. He's been that left back and he's been playing really well this season. Jury and Timber. It's funny because me and Alex we just did the combined 11 on my channel when we had the big debate between Marcus Llorente and Jury and Timber who gets at right back because Timber's been phenomenal. He's been one of the best right backs in Premier League. So we've got a very good defense, but the big thing for me is I look into Arteta, and I think some of these games he's not brave enough. We lost Liverpool at Anfield. a Liverpool side that were there for the taking. A Liverpool side that you guys, and I know you went 2-0 down and you had a very bad start, but you came back. You know, you brought it back to 2-2, and they scored a last-minute goal. And they've been doing this, and now they've lost 4 games in a row, Liverpool. So I look at that game. We lost to a dominant side free kick. We should have took the game to them. We should have been more braver. Arteta team selection, he went too naive. You know, he played Mika Marino in the midfield position with Rice and I think so Mendy when he should have gone more attacking and played Eberechi Eze, our new signing instead, or a younger player like Wanyeri, have a bit more, taking the game towards Liverpool. So there's been a few of that this season where we haven't played well, but we've been getting results this time. Like against Fulham, we won 1-0. We were very bad, but we won 1-0 from a set piece. Cool. I said it earlier. If we play like this for the whole season and we win the Premier League, nobody's going to care because we'll win the Premier League. The problem that's going to happen is if we play like this and we win nothing again, because we've gone 5 years without winning anything, and for us, football club ain't good enough. So, yeah, I think as we're at as a club is we're in a very good position. You know, Champions League football, competing for Premier League title. We've got a fantastic squad and really good squad depth. But the big problem for me and my doubt is the manager, Mikel Arteta. Has he got it in him taking us over the line? Does he have the mentality to win us trophies? Because he hasn't proved that at the moment. He's gone 5 years without winning anything. So he's probably the biggest doubt for me is Arteta. But apart from that, that's where we really at as a club right now.
I'm just going to say a quick facts and then St. Kicks you can take over. So Arsenal have won their last 6 Champions League matches against Spanish teams. So, I mean, they're looking good. And the next thing I want to say is Atleti are without a win in their previous 9 Champions League group stage or league phase matches against English teams. So we've drawn 4, we've lost 5. So that's 9 matches. That's a very, very long number. And then one more fact, Julian Alvarez has scored 7 goals in his last 7 Champions League appearances, but he has never scored against Arsenal in 4 games for Man City. So that's an interesting one as well. Yeah, you can go on now, St. Keeks.
I like that exposition you talked about there, because there's a lot of things that I have questions about in terms of for Arsenal, because I've been watching y'all for a fair degree over the past few years. I was almost jealous of your last season because I think we'll get into this specific note in terms of the set pieces a little later. But in terms of the overall aspect of Arsenal, in terms of the ability to be very strong defensively, create these chances when things don't go right, take a little corner, get a free goal, grind out a 1-0, get some points, move on. I think those are signs of a team that can really, when things, I think a sign of a potential champion is somebody who is in a position where things are not going your way. You create a moment of magic. You get your result, you move on. Even though you're not playing well, you're getting a result. I think that's a sign of something better. And I think so far this season, you scored like 10 of your 15 goals from set pieces, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have 10 different goal contributors. I don't know how do you feel about that, seeing as Victor Gyökeres is your new big signing in forward?
Yeah, this is a problem we're sort of having with a player like Gyökeres, for example. You know, he's came in and everyone was so excited about the signing because Arsenal have been missing an out-and-out number 9 striker since we let Aubameyang go, really. And, you know, that was 3 seasons ago. And we've had players like Gabriel Jesus who's came in and he got injured, unfortunately. So that he's really got unlucky with the injuries. Kai Havertz has been playing there, but he hasn't really lit up in terms of an out-and-out striker. So Gyökeres, there's so much excitement around this guy, and the record he had last season and the goals he scored last season, we were thinking, wow, what a signing. But he's actually really struggled so far for Arsenal, and I think it is kind of the way how we play and you know, the system that we're sort of he's playing very different to how we did at Sporting Lisbon, you know, and we're not really utilising to his strengths. And he's definitely getting isolated at games as well. And he's only scored 3 goals, really, and that was against the start of the season against Leeds United and a Nottingham Forest game. But he's getting a few chances here and there. And that's on him as well. Like, as a striker, goal scorer, you got to be taking those chances, of course. But I kind of feel for him in the sense is how we set up and how we play as well. You know, this season, which is not benefiting him. You know, some of the way how we play at times is in terms of like set pieces, he's not really that good in the air. You know, that's one thing I criticize him on is aerially. He's not really going to score many headers for Arsenal. So it's all about playing him in behind, and we don't really do that enough. So he's really struggled with it. But I mean, it goes back to what I said earlier in terms of the set piece goals. Like I look at it, and we got a lot of criticism for it. You know, last season because we had the highest set piece record in Premier League, of course, as expected. I think we had the best set piece record in Europe, in European football. You know,
you
it's
did
definitely
have it, yeah.
it's definitely a thing that we can utilize. But as I said, it's something where the football we've been playing, especially this season, if we win the Premier League, we win the Premier League out of it. Cool. But it comes because we played like this similar last season and we dropped a lot of points. We got 14 draws in the Premier League last season and we didn't win. Obviously, finished second again. If it happens again, it's been happening over 2 seasons now. That's where it becomes a big concern. When we had Arsene Wenger as manager, Arsenal were known for the Arsenal way. We was known for the sort of similar to Barca. Like we played some proper when we had Özil and these players in there. Proper, beautiful football. Free flying football. It'd be a joy to watch. The football under Arteta has not been a joy to watch, but we are getting results, as you rightly said earlier. And that's a sign of sort of that Champions mentality. So yeah, I mean, the set piece is a big thing, and I don't think it's sustainable. I think we're gonna have to adapt as the season goes on against some teams as well, because last season teams sussed it out. When we I think played Everton and these big teams with these big centre backs. They sussed it out. They said, hold on a minute, Arsenal have got set pieces. If we suss them out and if we really look into that as something we can exploit and prevent that, we had no other plan B, basically. So that's where we can really struggle. But as I said, if we win the Premier League out of it, we win the Premier League.
I was actually seeing as you mentioned the Premier League as often as you do, I was thinking about it as well because of the whole. Well, we just saw earlier today, Liverpool lost at home to Man United. Very funny. Amorim getting his first back-to-back wins for his entire tenure there. You couldn't write that on a script. Man City not quite where they used to be with since the Rodri injury. Bernardo Silva's not really been up to form. Kevin De Bruyne is gone. I think in some ways, I think a lot of the Arsenal fans will probably see that as a real chance for them to possibly win the league. But I think there's a wider question, which is now, I think you in terms of the play style, it is enough over 38 games. You can get enough answers out of the league, I think, to get a potential Premier League. But do you think in regards to, as you mentioned, with Maneri, as you mentioned with Eze and these other things, sometimes you need to be expansive in certain areas. How does that expand in terms of the Champions League, the FA Cup, especially now that you have Ødegaard injured? I'm not sure. I think it's a 6 week injury.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does that expand? Because that's effectively your only real creative midfielder. Well, I guess Eze as well, because he just came in. So how does that affect you in terms of the style of play? How does that come into the football for you?
Yeah, it's massive because this is sort of been an area again where, as Arteta as a manager, he doesn't really, when you look at his style, he doesn't really want to go with a full attacking number 10 sort of thing. If you looked last season, Ødegaard was playing very, very deep than he should be. And I think that's why he struggled a lot last season. Ødegaard came back this season and we played Olympiacos in Champions League, we played Newcastle and we played Man City. He came back and, he looked so much better. And I think it's the way how, Arteta was using him, as more attacking, using his offensive. Because every time we need Ødegaard on the ball as much as possible. Because when he gets the ball, he'll make stuff happen. He's that type of a creative player. And then now he's gone and got injured. So now he's out again for, like, as you said, 6 weeks or whatever it may be. It's a massive miss because he looked so much good, a lot better when he came back. And then we signed Eze, obviously in the summer from Palace, and we all are really happy with the signing. Eze in the Premier League was superb at Palace, but even him, he's not really got going yet. Again, it's going to take time to adapt to this sort of system. And it goes back to some of these games as well. With a player like Ranieri, he's young, he's 18, he's energetic. Every time he's played for Arsenal, he's looked superb. The manager don't really rate him that highly. He's been getting no game time whatsoever. Last season, we needed to go against PSG in the semi-final. He brings them on 5 minutes. Expecting the guys to do something in 5 minutes. Against Crystal Palace, 5 minutes. Against Bournemouth, 5 minutes. You know, I got a feel for the kid because every time he played, and when he played, he would either make an assist, he'd score a goal, or he'd put an 8 out of 10 performance. Like, you could tell this guy's special. But he's not, even this season, he's getting 5 minutes off the bench again. He's got no starts this season in the Premier League. And it's so frustrating to see because we know there's a player in there. And at the moment, Arteta's not really trusting that. And the thing with Arteta, it goes back to what I said earlier, with games against Liverpool, and this is what kind of concerns me on Tuesday when we play, right? How is he going to set up in the midfield? Because for these types of games, against Liverpool, against Manchester City, we lost Liverpool 1-0. He played Mika Marino, Declan Rice, and Zubimendi in the midfield. 2 defensive. And he played, and we lost that 1-0, and he played the same midfield again against Man City, and we drew that 1-1. When he plays that 3 in the midfield, he sets up really not to lose a game, you know. But we need to go set up to win these games. Be brave, be more bold. So that's what I'm thinking. Against a manager like Simeone, is he going to play that 3 in midfield and Marino, especially Ødegaard's injured now? Is he going to go Marino, Zubimendi, and Rice again? Hopefully he goes with Eze. But yeah, listen, like losing Ødegaard's massive. I think it shouldn't affect us too much because I think we've got a very good squad now. We have competition for places as well, which is a big thing. You know, if someone like Eze ain't performing, Ødegaard will be there. If Ødegaard ain't performing, it's vice versa. And you'd hope it'd be the same. If Eze ain't performing, now Ødegaard's injured, he'll play Wanyeri there. He'll give Wanyeri minutes. It's the same like that across the whole pitch for Arsenal, really. We have competition for places. So, yeah, it's definitely been a concern. And I really hope Arteta sets up against you guys, especially at Emirates as well. We're the home team. Go and take the games you lot and go for the win, basically.
Okay. I think overall, I think Alex can attest to the same things I'm saying. Like Atleti in the past few years have not been the Atleti of old. We have had a very different style of play to a lot of what the general consensus believes Atletico to be. Our defending is not as good. Our set piece defense is not as good. Our set piece offense is not as good. That has been.
I mean, it's literally the same case. Like we were talking about this. Like we're coming up against a team like who's very good at set piece, and like we are like literally, you know, like it's day and night kind of a thing right now, especially this season.
I mean, like when you look at the 2014-15 Atletico, right, the ones that all of us grew up on. This is that kind of 3-4 years where we are effectively probably a top 4, maybe top 3 team in the world, and comfortably so. Like it's along the lines of like the top 5 teams is what Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern, Atletico. That's it. That's the top 5 teams. If you can challenge them, then great. Like City was kind of in or around there, not quite, but that was the top 5, and it was a nice time to feel proud as an Atletico fan because it was like, wow, my team is this good. I didn't know my team could be this good. So we're a different style of play to them, right? In terms of the principles, we want to be the same, but there are players that are not quite the same in terms of things, right? When you look at the Liverpool game that we had earlier this season in the Champions League, I looked at that game as a possible win out of our total Champions League games. I think we did an early prediction of what we thought could be Champions League games. It's a hard game because it's at Anfield. We don't have a good away record in general recently, but Anfield is a place where Llorente gets supercharged. He got his brace and these other things. But what really set us up backwards in that game was the reliance from Simeone on 2 players I don't like, which is Longley and Galan. Longley especially. Longley is not good defensively. I don't know why he trusts him, but he now has other options in terms of his defense. He has Hanko, he has Jimenez, who just came back, he has Ruggieri, he has Nico Gonzalez if he wants to use a wing back. There are options on the board. So if Simeone decides to do something stupid now, that is on him. It is not on the team otherwise. Because I think for the most part though, in terms of this season has been a bit up and down. We've kind of failed to get results in areas I think we really wanted to, because I think this was a season we wanted to push for a proper league big title like what you're doing right now, because Real Madrid also went through a little bit of rejuvenation. They had some players who left, like Kroos and Modric. You're not quite 100. They're not quite 100%. Barcelona have a ton of injuries. These are the times that you want to pick up some points, so that when they eventually get into a steamroll, you already have a little lead to have some room with. So it's a little weird in that. But the reason why I brought all of that conversation in terms of the topic is I think so far this season we've been very good in our big games. So even though we lost the Liverpool game, I think had we set up a little bit differently, we could have won that game. When we look at the Villarreal game, we won that game 2-0, I think comfortably.
Yeah.
When you look at the Rayo game, a hard game for us, came back, had a Julian hat-trick. You look at the 5-2 against Real Madrid, the hand. These games where you get more out of these players, and also you get I think you get to see more compact aspects of the team in terms of the defending, in terms of understanding where to press, what is the gauges, and these other things. Where Simeone is at his best is where he is able to express himself technically and get all the tactical aspects down. So I'm looking forward to it in the sense of that. But my concern is this is arguably the best defensive side in Europe. Where do you think, for instance, right now is maybe Arsenal's weaknesses that you would be concerned about coming into this Champions League game?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, I mean, as I said, as you rightly said, defensively we are rock solid. Like, not many teams score against us. I'm looking back at the games we conceded. Newcastle was from a corner, was from a set piece. I don't know how good you guys are at set pieces, but you know. So yeah, I mean, Newcastle scored from a header, which we was really poor on because we gave them a corner. Mosquera, you guys may remember him from Valencia in La Liga, right?
One of our targets before Buta decided.
Exactly. You know, we were discussing this. We were discussing the same case. Like these guys have Hincapié again, one of our targets.
Hincapié as well. Yeah, Hincapié just
one of our targets a years from years ago.
as well.
Yeah, and then and even this summer, some of our Atleti fans, they wanted Gyökeres at Atleti. You remember?
You wanted Gyökeres as well? Yeah, exactly, man.
Buta went out and was like, all right, we're taking all of Atletico's targets.
but sorry, Josh, go on.
Yeah, Mosquera, like he's came in, he's looked really good, but he made a really back pass, and then they got a corner, and then Gabriel completely messed up on the header. So that came from then, and obviously Erling Haaland scored when we conceded against Man City, and then it was a free kick from Dominic Szoboszlai. So they're the only 3 goals we conceded this season, which is mad how good our defense actually is. So it's definitely one of our strong points. But the thing that reminded me about that, what you said about Simeone, is he likes a tactical battle. And that's what really worries me, and that's my concern about coming to this game, is Simeone against Arteta. Because whenever a team sets up at the Emirates, well organized, and say just for example, like you guys have proved, as you said a minute ago, you could score goals like 5 against Frankfurt, 5 against Real Madrid. Alvarez scored a hat-trick against Rayo Vallecano, right? But just say, for instance, right, you come to the Emirates and Simeone just goes with a low block, for example, right? Every team who does that, they've been successful with that at the Emirates. It's sort of a way how you can not lose to Arsenal. We really struggled to break down teams who sort of sit back and they just sit there and say, you know what? You can have all the ball. You can have all the possession. We're going to break you down. And this is where it comes down to the fact that we usually beat these teams by just set pieces, basically. So if you can suss out the set pieces and you sort of sit back and, you make it frustrating for Arsenal and you're well organized, which I know Simeone can do in these tactical sort of games, that's my biggest concern there, really. And the fact that you got that counter attack and you got the players who can hurt Arsenal. You think about Julian Alvarez, you think about Alex Baena as well, who I think has been a really good signing for you guys. And I remember him at Villarreal as well. Really, really good, joy to watch. Simeone, of course, on the other side. If you play Sorloth or even if you play Griezmann, you have players who can hurt Arsenal on the counter attack. So that's the thing. I look into it and I look more into the sort of setup and if you come to the Emirates, because even Olympiacos did it against Arsenal really well. Olympiacos, they were well organised, and it took Arsenal to get a late goal to kill off the game. But they had chances, Olympiacos. If they had a proper striker, you know, they could have got a few goals in that one as well. So I think at times we do. I think we have a really, really good defense, but I think at times we do get caught out as well. So it could be a benefit for you guys with some of your attacking players that you can, you know, sort of hit us on the break like you did to Liverpool as well. Like, man, like Llorente, incredible, man. Like that's his favorite team, isn't it? Like he loves to score Liverpool, man. His favorite team was like, but yeah, that's the thing that concerns me the most is actually your manager, man. Like I'm a big fan of Simeone, I must say, by the way. Massive fan of Diego Simeone.
That's great. I too am a great fan of Simeone. I don't know if you but
do you like Arteta? Just out, like what do you make as an outsider of Mikel Arteta? Because a lot of people rate him really highly, but as an Arsenal fan, and it may surprise some people, I think like he's done a great job to get us back up to competing, but he's gone 5 years without winning a single trophy for Arsenal, and that's the big thing for me.
I think you're in a more similar position than you probably think initially, because Arsenal historically are a very, very big team. You have a lot of trophies. I think the only thing you're really missing is probably a European title. In terms of overall, you have a lot of league titles, you have a lot of FA Cups, you have League Cups, all these other things. And so there is an understanding that Arsenal is one of those people's club. They're a big team. They're almost like Dortmund in a way, although Dortmund also has a thing. But it's like what you look at it as is they're not quite the Man United in terms of the biggest team in the league, or the Liverpool in terms of that, but they're still very high, and you have to kind of respect them. And so you have that kind of understanding of the team, but there's a reality where over the past 5+ years, you had City and Liverpool who have been out of this world good, right? City and Liverpool have been in of those at least 4 or so finals in the past like 5 or 6 years. That's insane. Like Liverpool have been in more than one final, City have been in more than one final. And you kind of have to just understand, okay, well, this is the kind of titans you're going against. And it's the same kind of thing with Atletico, where it's like, even though Atletico is a big team in terms of the history of Spain and these other aspects, we're against the 2 teams in Real Madrid and Barcelona. And so it's not a good feeling to have to accept sometimes 2nd or 3rd place, which is not really something I particularly like. But what I do like about, like, Arteta is almost trying to replicate in a way what Simeone is in terms of not necessarily the tactics. I think they're different in terms of the understandings and how they set up and those other things. I like him overall, but getting his team across the line, trying to transmit certain aspects of it is something I think he just needs. As soon as he gets it the first time, I think it will overflow, because I think he's at the exact right period of time for him to really push Arsenal to that. If he can do it, there's not an infinite clock in my mind. I think he can get fired. I think if he doesn't get anything by the end of the season, considering what's happening with the other clubs, you kind of have to fire him. But
would Berta do that too? Cities would Andre Berta would go for that. I mean, like we had Simeone, obviously, on the next side, where Andre Berta and Simeone had a very good relationship. And then he goes on to do something like this with Arsenal. I mean, I don't know.
It's something like that, but it's like Berta has been a very loyal confidant of Simeone for some time, and as a response, a lot of the good signings that Simeone has gotten over the years has been with a close connection with Simeone, right? And I think you've had a good summer. You've got Hincapié, Mosquera, Eze, Gyökeres, Zubimendi, and Norgard. Right, so you got 2 DMs, a centre forward, 2 centre backs,
Madueke as well,
and Madueke, right? So you have a coverage in terms of attack as well. That's a good summer. That's a very good summer, and you still managed to get rid of some players like Kiwior and these other players to freshen up everything else. I like what Arteta is, and I hope for your sake that you do manage to get something, because I think it's about that time. I think you overdue a trophy. I think the football you've played, I think the overall level for the club and these things, the fans kind of deserve something out of it. And I think Arteta is capable of it, because you already managed to do it with the FA Cup, but no, you have to replicate it. No, you have to do more. So I think he's good. Tactically, I do feel the same way as you. I'm not I'm not a fan of him always taking a second foot in terms of the bigger games. I think the only time I've been really impressed by him has been the Real Madrid game last season in the Champions League, the PSG game in the group stage where it was so comfortable.
Yeah,
Like that was a 2-0, but it really could have been more. It could have been easy 3-4 goals.
Yeah.
And I think what's another game boy that I'm thinking of. I have too much recency bias in my head. There's other games I'm thinking of, but there's the City game.
Man
Obviously,
City when we beat them 5-1 last season was good as well.
yeah, that was another good game. Speaking of, actually, Miles Lewis Kelly, big fan, right? He's a Bayesian. I love Caribbean players.
Yes.
Between him and Calafiori, because I'm also a Roma fan, so I'm very familiar with Calafiori. Who do you think is your better left back between Calafiori and Miles Lewis Kelly?
Do you know what? This is interesting because last season it was basically what happened was Arteta signed Calafiori, of course, to play him as a left back. And then Calafiori got an injury last season in his first season, and then that's when he called up Lewis Kelly. And it was like, he's 18, 17, 18, this kid, and he came in, it was that Man City game, the 5-1. Everyone was like, how's he going to do against Erling Haaland? And how's he going to do against, these types of, this Man City in this big game? He was absolutely superb. And then you think about the Champions League, the Real Madrid and the PSG games and how he stepped up in those types of, in that Champions League run as well. Lewis Kelly has been phenomenal. He's been absolutely phenomenal. And by design, in the youth academy, he's brought up as a midfielder anyway. So Arteta is using him as like inverted. Arteta loves the inverted sort of fullbacks. So he plays Lewis Kelly inverted fullback, and because Lewis Kelly is really good with the ball at his feet, and offensively going forward as well. He's superb attacking wise and very, very strong as an 18-year-old kid as well, like proper physical as well. So yeah,
I like how he's manipulates his body when he's off the ball as well. He's very good at that.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, he's been phenomenal. But this season, we played every single game. Calafiori's came back from injury, and Calafiori started every single game, which suggests to us that Arteta loves Calafiori as a number one left back. Now, you watched him for Roma, didn't you, as well, when he was at you guys? For Italy, like I'm part Italian, and I think Alex is as well, right? He plays as centre back for Italy, and with Bastoni and sometimes Buongiorno, or sometimes it changes around. But I would love to see Cala as a centre back, because for Italy he looks so solid there. Having said that, for Arsenal he plays everywhere on the pitch but left back, to be fair, and that's the big thing with Calafiori.
The thing, George, the thing about like Italy is like you have like, for example, you have Di Marco playing as a left back. You have more players, for Italy playing as a left back. So Calafiori, I think, is the best choice right now as a centre back for Italy.
Yeah,
because Acerbi is, I think, like he has like grown out of his role, and then again we have Bastoni, obviously.
I don't want to see Acerbi in Italy anymore.
He's up Chelsea, I swear, Chirby, man. He's 39. He's old, man. He's got to retire.
And then Buongiorno is having a very, very good season with Napoli this time around. Yeah, and then so I would say as a left centre back, I think Calafiori is a very good option for Italy. But then also because the options we had for the left back position, like I told you, like Di Marco, he literally has his jersey behind you. So I think it's the best as he can. So I think Gattuso is using Calafiori really well. Like ever since Gattuso has came back to the managerial role for the national team, I think Italy looks kind of different. It looks like filled with hunger. Yeah. Especially that game against Israel. I remember that was a very, very phenomenal game. That 5-4.
5-4, crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Exactly. So so And I mean, like that started kind of that run, and now I think we just have Norway to beat, and then finally, hopefully, can qualify for the World Cup after 2 missed World Cups. So
Yeah.
that was. But anyway, we can move on from Italy.
Yeah, no, with as I was saying, like Kala, he's against Fulham. He's a player with the most shots in the game. He had three big chances. I don't know if you guys caught the highlights or anything, but he had a volley which he almost scored. He had an offside goal, which was a banning goal, by the way. We see this guy as our striker sometimes. He's actually plays. He runs around like headless chicken, but he's good going forward, like really good going. He brings a lot going forward, and he's powerful going forward as well. So he creates a lot. But then the way how it's not his fault because we know he can defend, right? It's like Arteta how he uses him. He used him as inverted, so there's a big gap, and that's why I said when we did the preview earlier, Alex, whoever you have on the right side against Calafiori, they'll have a lot of space.
Simeone.
Would it be Simeone? He'll have a lot of space in behind because Cala will be so far forward, and we kind of get caught out at times like that. So that's one thing that you guys can maybe exploit. But Calafiori has a rating really highly. I think I was buzzing with the signing when we got him from Bologna, and yeah, I think he's played really, really well. But it's really good competition now. Lewis Skelly and Kala, some great competition there.
I think I'm a little sad because it's like I never wanted Calafiori to leave Roma, but it was just too many injuries. Like it was about that time, and I think you can't really forever trust. Like the talent was clearly there, and he eventually had to leave. But then last summer or summer before, when the opportunity to buy him back was a thing for Roma. I wanted him for Atletico because I was like, yes, please give us an actual left centre back. Somebody, please, like somebody's actually good. But
did he play? Was he centre back for you guys as well at Roma?
No, he never played centre back for us, which is a shame because when Mourinho came, I thought he would have tried him in a different position, but it just didn't work out. I don't know. I thought Mourinho of all people would have seen it, but he didn't see it. So I guess that just didn't happen. But it's such like I look at your two left backs in Calafiori and Miles Lewis-Skelly. I get a little envious because those are two players I really, really like. But I think this summer we have addressed for the most part our left-hand side, which was a major, major weakness last season, where we had Lino, who was underperforming. We had Gallagher, who did a decent job, but that's not really where he wants to be. Riquelme, not quite up to level. And then Galan as left back, and it's just like it never really got off the horses. So far this season, we've created a fair few chances from the left. We've done very good things, both with either Hanko as a left back or Ruggieri, with Almada on the left wing, although he hasn't been able to play as much because of the injuries and these other things. We've been able to expand in a much better way. I still think we're a little weak defensively on that side, which is a little bit of a concern considering Saka is there. So I don't know how we'll set up coming into the game, considering the fact that Saka is one of the main threats, I think, for Arsenal when you come into the games. It's somebody you just have to respect who Saka is.
You know, think it'd be very funny if Simeone goes and play Longley and Harry Garland on that position. That'll be very, very funny. But yeah, thankfully Jimenez is back because again, Longley would have started if Jimenez wasn't there. So
True.
Wow.
Yeah, and then so I'm really relieved, by the way. But I think this is like we talked about this in the preview in Josh channel as well. So this would be David Hansko's real test against a really, really good winger, I would say. So, and for me, I don't think there's a clear, like we did this against Real Madrid as well. We played David Hansko where we knew, like, we might get some trouble on the wing side. So we played David Hansko on that position and he performed pretty well. But then I think this would be a real test for David Hansko to play in that position. But again, saying that, I think that's the weakest link we have right now. If Arsenal is looking to, exploit some space or anything, I think that left-hand side is definitely there to do that. And I'm going to ask this to Josh. Like, what do you guys think about, like, where you guys can hurt us, according to you?
That's a great question.
That's a good question, man. That's a good question. I think I spoke about, your counter attack as a strength for you guys against us. Like Alvarez is, bro. I'm such a big fan of Alvarez. I'm sure you guys as well. Like when he's at Man City, I was saying when he's leaving, I was like, go and get him, Arsenal, because we needed a striker. I said, go and sign Alvarez. And I even said there's a little point last season where end of the summer people were talking about Alvarez. Teams looking at him, right? Because he's incredible. And I was like, go and sign the guy. But you guys are gonna want over £100 million for the guy, man. So like the end of the day, it's not gonna happen for a while. But I'm a big fan of him. Like as I said, like with your attack, that's something we can look at. I think we said the big bat will be the midfield. You guys have Pablo Barrios in there. You guys have obviously Conor Gallagher tends to play these types of games. Like he scored, I remember last year for you guys in the Real Madrid one in the last 16. So maybe he'll go with him. And then you have, we spoke about Alex Cardoso, right? Who's injured, isn't he? Which,
Johnny Cardoso, yeah.
Which could be a big miss for you guys. And obviously Alex Baena, who's in there as well, rate really highly. But yeah, I don't know, man, like, because you've been saying, like, you've been leaking some goals. Like, your defense is not the same as it once was. Even though Jimenez, I like Jimenez a lot. I've liked him for many, many years at you guys. And then you have, obviously, Lenormand as well, who's a Spanish guy who played well, I think was in the Euros team for Spain as a centre-back. And then you have Then you have the fullbacks. You said you're playing Hanko, right, on the left back.
David Hansko, yeah.
David Hanko, and then you have is it?
Llorente.
Llorente, of course, Llorente. So I think we can hurt you on the counter attack. Obviously, with like Saka. You guys have mentioned respect is there because it's Saka, of course. Obviously, in that attacking midfield role is going to be key. Hopefully, Eze will be there. So when he gets on the ball, he can make stuff happen. The left-hand side has been a big doubt for Arsenal. Like we've had Martinelli and Trossard there, but they've really not been. To be fair, they've been scoring goals off the bench, but when they start games, it doesn't end well really. Like you guys had problems with your left sides, last season. We had the exact same last season as well. Martinelli was so inconsistent. It's why we was looking at a left winger so much in the summer. So. And then again, like our striker will be Victor Gyökeres. So it's about, can we get the service to him? Can we play through his strengths? I'm sure you guys will be looking ahead of the game, looking at him as a big threat and how you're going to deal with him with your two centre backs, Jimenez and Lenormand. But he's got the hunger in him, I think, because he knows he needs to score, man. Because we've got to play like Havertz. He's coming back from injury, and Arteta, they're like father and son. Like what I've noticed with Arteta, I don't know if you have it with Simeone, right? If he's got his favourites in Atleti, but with Arteta, bro, like Mikel Merino, he loves Mikel Merino, yeah. Maybe because they're both Spanish, or maybe because they're both called Mikel, but they're literally like father and son, right?
That's a very good point.
Literally,
I never thought about they both it's Mikel, both names. Wow,
bro, he loves Mikel Merino, man. If you play in midfield, you play him anywhere. Up front, you literally played him as striker last season. He scored 8 goals for Arsenal. It's not crazy like that. But
same with Spain actually. Like you don't know, you should play him.
He does score goals, doesn't he, Marino? Though that's the thing. He does love to score a few goals.
I have a question on that. I think Marino is a player who, in terms of output, you can't really question him. He's really good in the air. He's really good in terms of crashing the box and these sort of things. I just find sometimes he just takes a little too long on the ball. Like he could release it a little earlier. He could do a little bit more. And I feel like that's the reason why I was a little bit against. We had like a short list of players who potentially come in. It was Marino, it was Gallagher, and I think there was 2 other players. This is like 2 years ago now, so my memory's a little foggy. But
no, last year only, I think. Last year, because Arsenal got Marino last year. Gallagher was here last year, and there were talks about either Mikel Merino or Conor Gallagher. Because again, Mikel Merino, I think he costed around like 40-50 to you guys, right?
Yeah,
and like
40 million.
Yeah,
40?
and
I thought it was 25. Oh, never mind.
No, and it's the same price. Is it 25?
It was. I thought it was 25 for Marino.
We paid 40 for Gallagher. Okay, wow.
No, 25. It should be 25 for Marino, no?
No. It was 32 million pounds for Marino.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
so almost
a bit more
almost,
than I thought it was. Anyway, yeah, as you were saying.
Okay, wait, hang on. Was it me or who was it saying?
No, it was you. It was you. You were talking.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot. Yeah. So I was saying like Mikel Merino, you can play him even with Spain. Like he has that number 6 on his back, but like this guy is literally going everywhere on the pitch, and there's definitely a threat on set pieces. We saw him scoring against Germany as well in the Euros. And again, adding to that point, Conor Gallagher. Like since Eze is going to play for this Arsenal team on Tuesday, Conor Gallagher knows him from his Crystal Palace days as well. So would that be some kind of an advantage for us? Would it be?
Wait, say that again?
Eze and Gallagher used to play together in Crystal Palace, right? So I'm just saying, like, so like if Gallagher plays and like would there be any advantage we can use on Eze?
Yeah, the thing is, right, is like when you look at Gallagher, I said it earlier with you guys, but these and you said it as well, like maybe Simeone will go with him for this type of game because of the experience really, and
especially with that that London derby kind of a thing as well. He was in Chelsea as well.
When he was at Chelsea and he when he's in Premier League, I think he only went to the London clubs. He was at Palace and Chelsea, and then he went to obviously like you guys. So, and if I'm not wrong, he started the game against. Did he start against Liverpool this season as well, Gallagher? The 3-2 defeat for you guys.
Yeah. I think he did. Gallagher started. Yeah, I remember it was Gallagher, Raspadori, and then it was Koke.
Yeah.
It was Koke.
So I expect him to I think Simeone will play him for this type of game for you guys. But yeah, as I said, like with Eze he's played. As Arsenal fans, we know there's a next level to get to with Eze. Like he's played okay, like 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 so far. But we know he can get that level up. We saw it at Crystal Palace, and again, it's about really adapting to this system. How Arteta wants to use him. So I feel like the midfield will be key because Zubimendi for this type of game, I'm really interested to see how he does do because he's been playing well, Zubimendi, but in a few games like at Anfield, he got caught out a little bit, because he's too long on the ball, and and even against Fulham the other day, he was really sloppy in possession, which is really unlike him usually. So I'm going to be really interested to see how this midfield battle does shape up. And someone like Declan Rice, like he's a big game player, like in his Champions League. I mean, you guys saw it last season in against Real Madrid. The pressure was on 0-0, 2 free kicks, won us the game, and then we kicked on from there. Declan Rice in the big games, he can definitely turn up. So I've got no problem with him, but it's the other two positions really. Zubimendi, how's he going to cope up against your midfield? Pablo Barrios and Gallagher and Koke as well. Yeah, Koke. He's your captain, right? So your captain?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mate, he's been here for years, Koke, hasn't he? So for me, Koke's that player. He's so under the radar. Like no one in England really. When you look at Atleti, they don't mention him enough. Like I love Koke, man.
He used to be alongside. It used to be Koke. When you think of Atletico, it used to be Koke, Saul, Diego Costa, and Griezmann. It's like those are the players that you automatically should rotate towards. And it's like over time, I feel like people just forget the fact that Koke is like from that old generation of just honest to goodness, like big hitters, which is a shame.
You guys don't have Rodrigo de Paul anymore.
No, and that's fine. I'm fine with it.
I mean, like we still need to find this replacement. I would say in midfield, we still don't have that. But I think like even with without De Paul, I think we are doing pretty much fine. Okay. But but again, like if we have all the players available, then yes. If we don't, then we kind of like fucked because then we lack creativity. Because recently we had like both of our playmakers injured with Thiago Almada and Alex Baena, and now both of them are back. So yeah, I think like there is creativity in this team right now. So that's good. But like I said, the main battle would be the midfield battle because again, like we all know, like it's gonna be a very very low block. Any team is gonna attack. There will be moments where Atleti would be, like up, and Arsenal will play as a low block, and then I think Arsenal will play as a low block. And it really depends. It really depends who gets the first goal. That'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, that's gonna be so interesting to see, man. And because usually, like for these big games, it'd be like maybe we'll set up how we did against Liverpool, where if we get the first goal, then it'll be just 1-0. That's what we said when we did the prediction, either 1-0, 1-1. It's very, very close. Because if you get the first goal as well, especially at the Emirates, you're going to be thinking, hold on a minute, we got a good lead there. Let's not throw it away, sort of thing. But I don't know, like you guys have sort of transitioned from not playing that back five anymore to the four back, right? 4-4-2.
It depends.
Yeah, like we start with 4, but then like defensively we switch to 5.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, like if we're attacking, we definitely go with 4. But like when we're defending, Giuliano becomes the right wing back, and Llorente, like I said in the preview, like he plays at the third center back. So it's Llorente, Jimenez, or Robert Oman playing the 3 center backs, and then David Hansco will play as a left wing back, and Giuliano, Diego Simeone's son, he'll play as a right wing back. So that's our back 5.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's our defensive position, literally. But again, I don't see us defending any set pieces. There would be, we will have troubles defending them. That's for sure.
Nice.
This is kind of like the thing. I know this is a strange. I've said this with Alex already in the previous thing, where it's like I slowly do want to see Pubil come in, because Pubil is like 6'3", 6'4", right? Very, very fast, very good, comfortable on the ball and these other things. Great on set pieces. And I feel like he can become a proper centre back / right back kind of thing. Like that. See how we rotate between the two. Like I feel like that's something that could happen for him. Where I feel like Lunamond is not quite what I want anymore. I never really wanted him, to be fair, but I digress. He's for our record centre back. Not really record signing centre back. He's not really somebody I think we should have put down that kind of money for.
Wow.
So there's that, but
that's his opinion, by the way. That's his opinion.
That's my opinion. I think Hanko has the problem is this season. As much as I'm very excited about a lot of these things, there's a reality that we've sold and also signed somewhere between 10 or something players. A lot of players are gone. So Correa is gone, De Paul is gone, Saul is gone. What do you call it? Who else is gone from, I think, like there's a ton of players who are just gone. And then there's a ton of players who came in terms of, so yeah, we know Almada and Baena, but then there's also Hanko who just came in, Ruggieri just came in, Raspadori, who is in and out of like a lot of people's attention. Carlos Martin, who got promoted, Pubil just came in. So there's like a ton of players, and there's still, I feel like a few players who probably still need to eventually leave. Like Molina, who kind of is surplus to means right now. Galan, who's also kind of surplus to means. I don't want to see Solat, because Solat has no Champions League goals so far for us, despite playing like 10 games. Not really great record for a striker. So,
and he might start tomorrow, St. Kitts. On Tuesday. I really think Solat will start, because I think William Saliba, and then we have Gabriel as well. I think we need someone like Solat up front just to shake those guys, and it'll be very, very difficult to we know Solat, he's bad in air anyway. Even if you're playing against like a 5'8", 10-foot defender, he's bad in air. We just saw that against Osasuna. So winning the headers against Gabriel and Saliba, it'll be a massive task for him. But I think he will play. I think he will play for sure, because just so that like Julian Alvarez get that space, so that Gabriel and William Saliba gets busy with Solat, even though he'll probably miss a few chances. But the main thing would be Julian Alvarez will get the space. He'll get free. That's the main thing.
I hear that. I think that's a very real possibility. Because when you look at the last game, Griezmann wasn't quite up to snuff. Are you really going to put Bayern a second striker? There's questions that you have, and you could just simplify it by just putting Solat there, allowing for Julian to run from in behind, make those deep runs, and then have Giuliano on the flank just running that channel.
Crosses. Yeah.
So I get what you mean. I think there's a possibility. It's just it's one of those things where I just hope the strategy works, because otherwise you just have like Deadwood on the pitch for a little bit, which is not really something I appreciate. But I digress. We'll talk about lineups. What are your possible thoughts on lineups for Arsenal coming into this game?
Yeah, so I think Arteta will stick to what he's been going with the whole season. Really, we'll go rare in goal, no doubt about that. We'll go with a back four of Duran Timber at right back. Of course, he's been phenomenal for Arsenal, one of the best right backs in Premier League. Gabriel and Saliba will be the two pair. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Left back. So Nketiah is fully fit, but we're still not yet to see him play. He's back in training because he actually got injured before he even made his debut, which is crazy. He got injured in training. So I would like to see him eventually in the game, maybe off the bench for left back. I think he plays centre back as well, so maybe he'll come off the bench. But he's going to go with Ricardo Calaflori. He's going to stick him at left back for sure. He's going to keep it the same back four. The midfield three. Now I hope he goes with Eze and he don't go with Marino and Rice and Zubimendi to set up the way how we did against. That's what he's done in all the big games so far this season. He's done that midfield. I can't stand that. So please, like as you said earlier, Saint, about Marino. He takes too long on the ball in midfield, and then he gets caught out. Like I don't mind him as a striker off the bench. He come on and just score goals for fun. But some games for Arsenal in the midfield, he's a liability because he takes too long, especially in Premier League when you don't get that much space or that much time. Champions League as well, especially against you guys and your midfield. Like he's not gonna get that much time to take time on the ball, and that's the issue with him in midfield. So hopefully he plays Eze, Declan Rice, and Zubimendi as well, and then the three up front will be Saka on the right, Victor Gyökeres down the middle, and it's a toss up between literally. It's like they might as well heads and towels, if you guys know what that is, flipping for Martinelli or Trossard. It's one or the other, literally, man. They're both as bad as each other. It sounds harsh, but they're both bench options. Like they're very good off the bench. The Champions League one against Bilbao, Martinelli and Trossard, they both scored off the bench and they won the game 2-0 in the first game, right? Against Man City, Martinelli came off the bench and he scored. But when they start games, both of them, when they start games, they don't perform.
We had these kind of players in our team.
We have those players as well.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's your left hand side, and then
that's the left side. Probably he's been playing Trossard, to be fair, recently, so I'll probably go Trossard again. And because
you don't see a possibility of you don't see a possibility of we call it Madueke on the left, or
no, he's injured. He's injured because he would be the ideal, because he's actually surprised a lot of people. Like we signed him from Chelsea, we paid £52 million, a lot of money for him, and people was like, and that's what we was all thinking. We was like, another Chelsea reject coming to Arsenal, but he came in because I don't know if you guys know how many Chelsea players we actually signed.
Quite a few.
But he's came in and he's looked our best attacker. Now that may surprise people, like considering we got Saka and all that, but he's actually looked. Saka's suffered with injury this season, but he's looked better than Saka. Like he's our best player against Liverpool on the right hand side, and he's been really really good. And then he got injured, so he's out for a few weeks now. So if he is back, he goes on left wing all day long. You have Madueke, Gyökeres, and Saka for the future. But we still need that left winger, man. We still was trying to get Rodrigo. Well, apparently we was trying to get Rodrigo. Apparently so. We but we need that left winger. We need someone like Rodrigo, or I really like Lookman from Atalanta. Semenyo at Bournemouth right now is doing really well. Yildiz.
Simeone has been great.
All very, very premium options there, but not one of them below 50.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's going to cost a lot, but that's one of the weak. That's the only thing I look in our squad now to improve on, the left winner, because it's not cutting it at the moment.
So it's basically pick your poison for you at the left wing.
Take your pick, mate. Yeah. Heads and tails if you want, mate.
Which is, I think that's good, because I think my only concern is Llorente is very good at one-on-ones. I have no concern in terms of most players, wingers, into Llorente. It's when Llorente is playing as a third centre back and is against Giuliano instead, where it's just not quite the same level. Like Giuliano's, he has the heart, but he doesn't have the defending capability. You can beat him. You can't beat Llorente if that makes sense. It's the possibility is not the same. So if the left wing isn't good, nice, something less to worry about.
Yeah, I'm not really afraid from the Arsenal's left wing. The only thing worries me is the Arsenal set piece and the right wing. That's it.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is probably if you go with Eze, you have the possibility of being dribble past. Like genuinely, like he has the pace, he has the capability
Yeah.
to create a moment of magic. We saw it a lot of times with Crystal Palace. We haven't seen it as much this season so far. But
He will turn up against us.
I
For
was
some
about to say,
reason,
it's like
yeah,
we say all these things and then they show up against Atletico, and it's like, oh
yeah.
gosh. Yes. But
I
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised Victor Gyökeres getting his first goal for Arsenal in Champions League against us
Champions
as well.
League, yeah,
yeah,
against you guys. Because you guys wanted him as well, didn't you, as a possible striker option?
Yeah, and
yes.
like for some reason, like players turn up against us. It's like they.
It's
It's
like
just a luck, whatever you wanna call it. It's just it is what it is. But anyways, in case, what are you gonna go with our lineup? I mean, like I've already told
what
Josh.
what I think they actually will line up, or what I think they should line up with. Was
No.
it
Actual, like
question?
according to the match, actual.
Actual lineup. The back four will be back four slash back five. Will be Llorente, Lenormand, Jimenez, Hanko, Nico Gonzalez, Koke Barrios, Giuliano, and then Alvarez Solot is probably the lineup I think is going to happen. If there's a
Yeah,
possibility of
I think Gallagher will start. I definitely think Gallagher will start because, and I also think it might be a different, like the same one from the game against Osasuna with Bain and Nico Gonzalez switching, and then instead of Griezmann, I think Sorloth can start, and instead of Koke, Gallagher can start. But then it's like you have to drop Giuliano. Would you take that risk?
I think we saw against Osasuna, no, I wouldn't take that risk. I think I tweeted it out earlier today. It's like sometimes, well, like the Liverpool game, sometimes you just have to respect the fact that it's the direct winger who can just run forward at a pace. Is usually somebody they have all the tactics and these other things. Sometimes you just need a runner, and Giuliano has been consistently just that. He's been a very good runner. He has good timing and these other things. You just need to have him because when you have him and you're into on your right wing, things will go well. So I don't think I would sacrifice it. Uh, I don't want to see Gallagher, to be honest with you. Like this is not the game for me for Gallagher. I think if Cardoso was here, I would feel very differently about the opinion. But right now, he isn't, so I don't want to see him right now. If that makes
But
sense.
Gallagher will start. I'm telling you right now. Simeone loves to start Gallagher against English sides. So
Okay. I'm not gonna deny. I'm not denying that's a possibility because
it is.
Simeone
It
has
is.
these things. But yeah, I think Koke should start.
Yeah, and like he can literally, like, the thing about Simeone is like he can literally like switch up within half time. If he sees like things are not working, he'll be like, nope, I'm gonna go back to default situation. So he won't be afraid of making decisions at half time if something doesn't
Yeah.
work.
I like that about him because that's what Arteta doesn't do enough. Like Arteta waits until 70 minutes, 60 minutes if it's going wrong. And the thing is that this is what we noticed as Arsenal fans. He has no sort of plan B. Like when he has his way of playing, and if it works, and it pays off. Cool. But when he needs to adapt, and when it ain't going well, at times he's shown that he hasn't got that. So that's what I like about your manager as well. Like he's ruthless in that sense, isn't he? If if it's not working, you change it up.
And then interesting, but the thing is, like, I want to say, yeah, I think we're just about to finish the episode anyway. Who's gonna be your like standout player to watch for Atletico Madrid, Josh?
Player from Arsenal to watch or
No, from Atleti, like who you think like he can hurt
who's the
you
one I'm
guys?
fearing the most? Julian Alvarez, mate. It's got to be. Oh, bro, I love that guy, man. It's got to be Alvarez up front. No, to be fair, like you got some ballers in there. Like we spoke about it earlier, but Alex Baena, look, he's got to be one that we're going to watch out for. Still Griezmann. Like I know he's getting older and older now, but I've loved that guy, man. Honestly, he's been absolute joy to watch over the recent years. Yeah, it's probably got to be Julian Alvarez, man. It's got to be him. And he's proved it in the big games like in Madrid this season, man. And Vallecano, he batted a hat trick for you guys. Obviously, some of the games last year in the Champions League, he got so unlucky with that penalty, man, against Madrid.
Unlucky.
I wanted you guys to go through so bad against them lot, man.
My only problem, like I hated the way that we went out, but I was just like, whatever. Like I don't want to play against Arsenal and lose to like 3-0 for like 3 set pieces in the first 10 minutes.
Fair enough, man. But, yeah, probably Alvarez, man, is the guy to watch out for. It's got to be.
So St. Keeks, I mean, Julian Alvarez, like we just discussed this at the start of the show. Julian Alvarez hasn't scored against Arsenal. So would you back him up for this match?
Yeah, he always performs in Champions League for us. Like regardless of if he scores or he doesn't score, he'll play. If that makes sense. Like he always has a good level. So yeah.
True. Anything you wanna add, St. Keeks, before we go to the predictions and end the show?
Sure. I think the only thing we haven't really managed to talk about is which is something I'm actually scared of, is Max Darman, the 15-year-old.
Oh, okay.
I find him genuinely, like, the level that he has, not cool. I don't appreciate that at all. I don't want to play against that, because the one thing I like about youth players is they always have that sort of, they don't care. They have the tenacity to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I don't appreciate that when you're in a game as chaotic as the Champions League, because they can create a moment out of literally nothing because they're not expecting something. So in that last 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes, maybe he puts on Daumann in the midfield or takes off Saka or something. Headache problems. I don't appreciate. I don't want to see him. He's one of those players I think will be a problem if he does come on.
Yeah, you probably, the thing is, like, this is what we like as Arsenal fans as well. Like, we want to see this guy play more. And again, it comes down to Arteta at times, because it's the same with Ethan as well. Ethan he's shown similar to Daumann, like, in terms of he plays with so much freedom, man. Like, he plays with just so much hunger in him. Like, just give me the ball. I'm gonna make something happen. You know, forget about playing all this systematic, predictable football. He's like, I'm gonna do something different. That's why we love these younger players. Like, you burst onto the scene. And the thing with Darwin is he had a great preseason. Like, we played Newcastle in preseason, and he's up against Joe Linton. Like, Joe Linton is massive, man. And you guys know Newcastle midfield, they're physical. Bruno in there, Joe Linton, Tonali as well. Yeah, Tonali as well. So, but Joe Linton, after the game, he said, you know what? Shook his hand and he said, fair play. Yeah, he knew that he got a run around by Max Darman in that preseason game.
We had a youngster when we played against Newcastle in preseason, and he was good. He has not played this season.
Yeah, bro. It's like, that's the thing. Like, we've not seen Max Darman since. Well, he played a Carabao Cup game, the League Cup against Port Vale, off the bench though. He didn't even start the game. So Arteta has him on the bench, but he don't bring him off the bench, And if he's only giving Ethan Nwaneri 5 minutes, how much does he really give Max Darman? So that's the big question there. We'll see.
For sure. But just before we go to the predictions, the referee for Tuesday's game is Davide Massa. He's Italian. All the officiators are Italian. So I expect a physical game for sure. I expect a physical game from that. But let's see. Anyway, I'm gonna go with St. Keeks. St. Keeks, your predictions for the game.
Oh, I have to start? Damn.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I'm seeing a potential 0-0, to be honest with you. I think this is one of those games where nobody gets onto. Even if they do get onto firing, we're gonna get back to seeing Oblak on his nonsense again. And then probably Atletico is not really quite up to speed in terms of our finishing. It'd be really funny if I said this and then it's like 4-4 or something stupid. but that's what I see. I think this is one of those games where we'll be a little bit muted. And yeah.
I mean, we discussed this already, Josh, the predictions, but we're going to repeat it over here. So I went with a 2-1 because I knew we can't keep a clean sheet against Arsenal. I mean, there will be a set piece going against us for sure. I don't trust my team enough to defend the corners from Arsenal. So I'm going with a 2-1. I'm being optimistic, and I'm going with the first away win for Atlético de Madrid as well, which, again, we don't have any away wins yet. I'm going with that as well. So I'm being optimistic. I'm going with a 2-1 win. And Josh, you can tell me yours.
Oh man, yeah, we were so sort of torn between a draw and just an Arsenal win. I went 2-1. I'm going to stick 2-1 to Arsenal, but I can quite easily see it be 0-0 or 1-0 or a 1-1, something like that. Really, really close game, really tight game. Really good tactical battle, I think, as well. It's going to be very interesting to see how Simeone and Arteta get on with that. But I'm going to edge us to win 2-1, and I'm going to go with a set piece as well. So I'm going Gabriel set piece to win us the game.
Fair enough. So that's it, guys. That's it for us today. Thank you, Josh, for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. And until then, I would just say like and subscribe. And you guys can check out Josh's channel as well. We'll put the link to the channel in the description. And until then, Opa Atleti. And we wish Josh good luck with his Premier League campaign with Arsenal.
And you guys with La Liga as well, man.
Until then, see you guys soon.